Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a bit of a weird one. I normally do my update videos where I just sit about and walk about the kitchen, do whatever. But this time I'm going to show my face again. Last time being, of course, the life story video. Skin isn't looking too bad this time, thankfully. Compared to last time, I took an allergic reaction to washing stuff, so it's a bit better. Although it is picked a bit, I've been quite stressed lately. Anyway, this is a really big video. We've got a kitchen washer's being changed behind me. I've got a new washing machine for my shed. In other news, if this is confirmed and it's happening, I'll have it wrote in the description. I'm also getting the matching dryer to the new washing machine. And then I've also got to talk about a very big holiday that's happening in September that's going to affect YouTube too. So yeah, really big one. I'm kind of doing this video on the fly, honestly, so I am. So there's going to be times where I'm going to be like, oh, what do I say, what to do this and stuff, and this is first take, so it is, and I'm just going ahead and just doing it. I wanted to make sure that the kitchen was all set up okay so that you couldn't see the washing machine and the reflection behind it. So I think we'll talk about the kitchen washer first. Or should we? Yeah, I think we'll do the kitchen washer first, and then we'll bring the camera back to me, and then we'll talk about the new machine outside in the shed, and then we'll go and show that in the shed. It's going to be a bit of a longer video, so it is, and I know that a lot of people are probably wishing that I'd just reveal this straight away. But kitchen washer anyway, Hoover went outside, so it did. It was mainly like the spin performance wasn't the greatest, and I do not like the door hinge on it. It sounds dreadful, so it does. I really don't like the door hinge on it. They've made it so that the door doesn't swing. It kind of like locks in place. But the hinge itself, because of that locking in place, it just sounds awful, so it does, honestly. So I decided to bring in another washing machine, and a lot of people were thinking the AEG. It was mainly between the AEG and the Miele. There was quite a lot of people guessed AEG, and then I think maybe one or two people thought it would be the Miele. And it's sitting right behind me, so if you can see my face okay, is it AEG or is it Miele? 3, 2, 1, yeah, bit of a shocker. I left the AEG outside and I brought the Miele back in. Real shocker considering the way that this machine went outside of to the shed. I think a lot of people are going to be questioning my decision on this. And basically, the Miele washing machine is the only washing machine that I have that technically isn't my own. I didn't pay for the Miele, so I didn't. My parents paid for it. And I was thinking about it more and more. And I was kind of like, it's not quite right for me to have a machine that costed such a high amount of money in my shed whenever it's not even really mine in a sense. So I spoke to them and we decided to bring the Miele back inside, and the Miele is going to be staying here, so it is. We see in a few years time I'll be taking that back, but hopefully not. I can't really see it, so I can't. The water pressure and all, of course, is fixed, and the Miele works so much better than what it did whenever it was last in here. And then the machine had a software update too, and so far I don't think it freezes up anymore. I think a lot of the issues the machine had before have been completely gone because of the software update, and also because of the fact that the water pressure is better, it rinses properly. I think the only thing is, I guess, spin limited in a sense, but it doesn't bother me at all, so it doesn't. I think I'm quite happy to have this back in the kitchen. It felt very, very weird with the door on it. The door just going from a big, massive Hoover door to a Miele door again is such a big jump. The Miele just felt so tiny compared to it. with the Miele, it did take a wee bit of a beating in my shed. I scraped the top a wee tiny bit because of me having a dryer on top of it and moving the dryers, back and forth. So there's a few wee scrapes there. There's a wee scrape on the dial, and there's a wee mark on the twin dose thing there. I think that's the case with a lot of my machines outside. They always get scraped. There's a few hairs on it too, but that's just because my mum's a hairdresser and she was doing my aunt's hair yesterday, I think, or the day before or something. I'm filming this on the not the 8th, on the 2nd of August. It's very possible that some of the things I'm going to talk about later on in this video may have changed a bit, because I'm going to be uploading this on the 4th, 2 days, well, not 2 days, my 18th birthday. It's 2 days now until it. In regards to like the twin dose of the Miele washing machine, the twin dose is completely disabled. I won't be using it, so it's just kept empty. So it is. I don't bother with auto dose. It's not something I'm interested in. I deactivated it whenever I took the machine outside to the shed, and I've kept it deactivated. I still have twin dose detergent left, and I think I'm gonna put them into bottles. So I am and just manually add the detergent. So I'm just using the normal detergent. So part of me doesn't trust the twin dose, to be honest, but particularly like with issues I've heard about them, but this particular one, it doesn't have any issues with its twin dose. It's not something that interests me, so I don't use it, so I don't. But yeah. So Miele came inside, like I said, because of that, with it being my parents' machine and stuff. And I know if I had brought the AEG inside, I know for a fact during the winter period or something, I would have been using it quite a bit, and I would have got to a point where I wouldn't like it. One of the cons on the AEG is its heating. It sometimes doesn't give itself enough time to heat, so it doesn't, and sometimes the wash can be quite a bit lower than what you set. Like I had one time where a 60 wash only had the time to do 40. That seems to be the case whenever it does small loads and it detects a 1 bar process level on full length. Like if I was to do like a t-shirt wash, the white load, and I just had it on normal, it would only do about 45-50. I know that inside that would probably, especially during winter period where it needs longer to heat the water because it's coming in much colder than it is now, I know for a fact that would have done my head in a bit, so I do. But yes, I like them. I do like the AEG. It's really good. I love it. It makes my washing smell absolutely amazing. So it does. I do like it, even with that wee flaw of it. It's nothing like a Samsung, so it's not. And I'm really happy to have that as a shed washer. So I am, but I probably wouldn't have it inside. So I wouldn't, just because of that. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to sit back down in front of it, and yeah, so I want a wee drink first, so I do. Goodness, let me see. Okay, think so. Hopefully it's okay. But new washing machine. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be quite a bit of a shocker for a lot of people. I think bringing the Miele in is probably being a bit of enough of a shocker. But the new washing machine is gonna be even more of a shocker. Basically, this is gonna be a bit of a long one. I was set on a Beko Energy Spin for about a month. And I was obviously travelling about Euronics and stuff. And I was looking for, I was impatiently waiting on the new ones to release. So I was bouncing between small display, big display. Aquatech was out of the question. I didn't want another Aquatech, so I didn't. I was bouncing in between them quite a lot, so I was. And I done that for about a month, like I said. And there was actually a day where I was like, goodness, I really, really want this machine now. And then, so basically during that period, like I was bouncing, there was one day where maybe I'd like a Bosch, or maybe I'd like a Samsung. Like it only happened 2 times in the whole month. And like, I'm that type of guy, if I want something, my opinion changes 24/7. So, which is quite funny, you know, but I wouldn't make a rush decision like that, so I'd give myself time to think on it first. And that's why I was waiting so long on the Beko energy spins too, rather than just going ahead and getting the Bloomberg. Because obviously I knew Beko have went so downhill, honestly, which is really sad. You know, I'm sure loads of people are probably saying, just show the new washer. I swear I'll get onto it in a wee minute. But basically, they've just done quite a few things with these new ones, and you're just kind of like, why? Why would you do that? Like, putting the screamer motor on them all, only having a 10-second hold on the short final spin rather than 30 seconds, like it was bad enough, you know. And it's just, but, you know, I think even with that, I still wanted to try one out. So I did, even with that all into consideration, like the balance is really sensitive and stuff. And I was set on that. And then one day, this shocking thing happened. Really shocking thing happened. And basically, so I was on Euronics, and I was keep on looking for the new Bekos to come up. And I decided to look at everything on it. So I did. And I saw a washer on it at half price. This is a very, very premium washing machine. Very, very expensive. And it was, you know, really cheap for what it was because of the half price thing. So I was like so in shock at it that I was sitting down, I was in the living room, and I was stuck looking at this washing machine for about 30 minutes. It's a brand that I've always wanted to try. I've never used it myself, so I haven't. And it's a brand that only kind of recently came to the UK, only a few years back. And basically the brand hasn't been doing too well. So it hasn't. It's not a known brand. Everybody in the washing machine community knows it. But it's not a known brand outside us. So it's not. And because of that, they weren't really selling well. So they weren't. And basically what has happened is this brand's actually leaving the UK. I think that's what the perspective I'm getting from it is. The machines are all being discontinued from Euronics. So they are. And that's why I've kind of taken the risk. I've used the washing machine. I've only done 6 loads in it, and I really like it, and that's why I took that, and I decided I wanted to get the matching dryer. But basically I went into my local Euronics, so I did, and I spoke to them about it, asked if like I could get it and whatever, and what the crack was with it, and they only had 2 of them left. And it's the exact same case with the tumble dryer that I'm getting now. There was only 2 left. And yeah, basically I was like, I really want this. And I've never had such a suspenseful purchase in my life. Because the day I got them, the day I went to buy the machine, the Euronic systems were all down. And they had to wait a day before they made the order. So they did. And I think this could be the same case with the tumble dryer. Hence why I'm saying, you know, it's possible I might not get it. But I think it's very likely I am going to get it. I'm just in that suspenseful wait moment again with it. So I am with the dryer. But yeah, so the washer was very, very suspenseful, so it was. And then thankfully the next day I got the email to say that the order had went through. And it was, you know, coming. So it was, so that came. I didn't do an unboxing video, so I didn't, for reasons, I didn't really, you know, just didn't, I had a friend round unboxing it with me, really, really good guy, and that was an absolute blast. I think he was quite shocked at what machine I got too, So he was, and to my shock, this machine is actually a completely new version. It's been filmed on YouTube, so it has, and I think this could give it away a wee bit, but it was looked at, because of this old, the way this old version was, it was looked at as a very bad machine, especially for its price. So it was a very, very bad machine. It had a lot of programming flaws to it, and it overall just, it was not worth the money. And I think at full price, you know, I wouldn't have paid full price for it, so I wouldn't have, but I used it, and I was pleasantly shocked with this one. And basically this one is a newer version. I wasn't too sure if it was a newer version whenever I bought it, but it's a newer version, and the programming on it is completely different. So it is, to quite a bit of an extent. So it is, and overall it's a lot better than what it was. And I've been pleasantly impressed with it. So if I haven't given it away too much, I think it's time for us to go outside. See the new washer. It's been 16 minutes. I've had you waiting for quite a bit of time now. So I have get my shed keys and stuff. But yeah, this is going to be quite a shocker, honestly. But I do have a feeling that because of what I've talked about, quite a few people might know what it is. But let's go. I have the unboxing stuff. I have a wooden top part from it. So I want to make sure I don't have my address on anything. I was doing quite a bit of work on my Miele Novotronic, so I was. And yeah, the Miele Novotronic's going to be something that we're going to have to talk about. My shed's a bit of a mess. So it is, as I've been doing so much work in it. So we have AEG, we have Hoover, we have Creda, we have Miele, and what's this that we have in the corner? Yeah, I never thought I'd have my hands on an Asko, honestly, but yeah, here's the new washing machine. 1800 spin style model, and it's completely different, the programming of it, compared to the old version, which shocked me a lot. So it did, you know, really shocked me a lot. I'm trying to get stuff sorted here as I have just so much mess. I have the Miele thing there, but yeah, who was expecting me to have an Asko, honestly? So this machine normally retails for £2,000. Very, very expensive. But because of the sale and stuff like that, I managed to get it, like I said, for half price. It wasn't from a discount store or anything. It hasn't got any damages as such on it, although I think I scraped the top a wee tiny bit, but it's in here in the shed. It's going to get scraped, so it is. And yeah, I've got the matching dryer hopefully coming with it too, at the end of, well, at either the end of this month or next month. I'll turn it on for you, so I will. This washing machine, to my shock, is actually hot and cold fill, so it is. You can have drum jiggles a wee bit whenever you turn it on, and it turns on that inverter module. So it's got a hot feed too, so it has, but thankfully with my plumbing, I have it all laid out and stuff that I knew I was going to have, like hot and cold machines in here. So I did, so I have that. I've got it double inlets, so I've got both of them connected up, because this washing machine actually works a bit like a Fisher and Paykel. It will try to fill up through the hot first, so it will, and it will do that for a bit, and if it can't fill up through the hot, if it's not connected, then it will just go to filling up for the cold, but it means that with the hot being, both being connected, it can fill up straight away, so it can. Even with it being on cold fill, the heating's still very good on it. The machine had a protective cover on the door, so it did, and that lasted 1 day, so it did, and it goes quite interesting on its spins, to the point where it's actually managed to shake a few of the broken clips out of the Hoover's door from the heat shield, which is really funny, as I couldn't get any of them out, and this thing vibrating on spins just gets them out big time. The door underneath, there's two wee, you can see it there, there's two wee screws holding in this metal band, and all I needed to do was literally undo them screws, take off this wee band bit, and the heat shield just came off, which was amazing. It wasn't tinted or anything like that, it was just a bog standard heat shield. But a heat shield's a heat shield to me. I don't like them, and if I can get it off, I will find a way to do that. Auto dose model, so it is. I don't know if you've ever really seen the drawers on these ones. You may have. That's the drawer there. There's no electronics in the drawer. Whenever you pour the detergent in for the auto dose, it flows out of the drawer and into these wee chambers. It goes into there, and there's wee chambers at the bottom for it. But it doesn't actually auto dose softener, I don't think. I think it's only 2 detergents. And basically, so it gives you like instructions on it there on how to do the auto dose. So you fill up your detergent and then you leave it open for a minute before closing it, so that the detergent all flows in. And then of course, water of course doesn't go into them. I've done 6 loads in it, maybe. I think 6, something like that. It's quite a low number. 6 loads and then 8 or 9 cycles altogether. The programming, like I said, is very different on it, so it is. I'll turn it on for you. Of course, it comes up with Asko, inspired by Scandinavia. It has a drum light, so it does on the door hinge. Drum light nonetheless. So it is, but of course with the way it has to be, it's not the greatest. So it's not, but a drum light's a drum light to me, and it's always a thing that I'm happy to have. I think it definitely works better at night. Of course, you can see them clearly with it at night. I suppose that's the whole purpose of a drum light, so that you can see into it in the dark. It has of course a good range of cycles and stuff. I think the cycles are probably all the same as the old one. So basically the difference with this machine, so the model on this is W6098XS UK/1. The old one was just W6098XS, and the difference with it, so the old one was a B energy rating, whereas this new one's an A. The old one limited the spins constantly, and it done dry rinses constantly. This one, instead of doing static fills, it actually tumbles for a bit on its rinses while it's filling up, and then once it's reached a certain level, it will go to on the static filling instead, once that's done that. But because it does its tumbles while filling, it doesn't dry rinse as much. I don't think it dry rinses. I don't know, it's too early days to comment on dry rinsing, to be honest. I done a very big load of pajamas and towels and a bath mat yesterday on Universal Wash 60, and it done its tumble rinses. It did rinse with a very low water level, so it did, but I think the old version would have done a completely dry rinse with it, to be honest. This one got everything fully wet. In the 6 cycles I've done in it, the first 4, I think. Hang on, I'm trying to think, because I done a quick 40 with super rinse. I done a cotton 60 with towels. I done a universal wash 60 with speed, with bath mats. I done a quick 60 with t-shirts, And then it's a later loads. I'm trying to remember what I done. Oh, I done bedding on allergy cotton and allergy cotton 60 with super rinse, and that was the first wash to limit the spin. It was a completely full load of bedding, three double sets in it, fit in. And it took quite an unbalanced spin to like 1500. I filmed it, so I didn't. That'll be up at some point. And then yesterday, let me see. Yesterday, I think I've only had this 3 days, haven't I? I can't even remember, honestly. Yeah, it has been 3 days. So yesterday I done 2 washes in it. I done a what do you call it? I'm trying to remember. No, I done an all do 40. The last wash I done was all do 40, with a load of everyday stuff. And then I done something else. I can't remember what I done. Oh yeah, I done that load that I was on about, the universal wash 60 with a full load. I done that. I haven't had it limited as low as 800 yet. It's limited twice to 1500. So it has, and it's limited once to 1000. The time it limited to 1000 was that on the universal wash 60, and it tried as best as it could to go up as fast as it could. So it did. It nearly got to about 1200, 1300, but it was just way too unbalanced for it, and it had to slow down a bit. So it did. Motion detected at the front door. I think that's an Amazon delivery, maybe. I don't really want to have to edit this video, so I'll just leave that. But so it took that and it limited to 1000. It was really unbalanced. I think that's one good thing about it. It doesn't limit for stupid reasons. It gives itself quite a good amount of time to balance. And it seems a lot more willing to take unbalanced spins compared to the old one. So it does, especially like on the in-time spins and stuff. It just seems a lot more willing to do them. I did have it doing quite an unbalanced 1800 spin of towels. And on the second wash I done, and I filmed it too. And the door was shaking like so much in person. You know, obviously it's a suspended drum, it has the shaky door on it. So it does, and it was shaking so much in person that I genuinely couldn't even see the door moving. That's how much it was shaking. So I could just look still in person, so it did, in a sense. It's quite a heavy washing machine, and I took the top off whenever I first got it. So I did. This washing machine was made in 2023, August 2023. And it's been sitting in its box for a year, which seems to be a very running comedic thing for me, because I've had like 3 or 4 machines be the same case. So I have. This was like that. The Hoover was like that. I think the AEG was sitting in its box for a few months. But not as long. And then the Beko B Pro 500 was sitting in its box for a year. But yeah, you know, overall, it's still early days, of course, but I do really like this machine. It's such an improvement over the old one, which I was shocked about. I wasn't expecting as much of an improvement from it, so I wasn't. But Asko, being a brand I've always wanted to try, and I'd realised with them being discontinued and stuff, that this was going to be my last chance to try one of these. So they're completely going away from Euronics, so they are. And I'm very lucky to say that I have the second to last Asko washing machine in the UK, in a sense. So I am very lucky to say that, and I think it's going to be the same case with the dryer if everything works out for me, but we'll see what happens with that. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. As much as I would like a matching set. But yeah, I do really like it, so I do. It's definitely shocked me quite a bit, so it has, with its programming and stuff, and I do need to stick a few washes in it today, so I do. It just has such a nice feel to it as well. Like, I just, you know, like the door, like you can slam the door like that. The door is a bit stiff to open, so it is. But like you can really like just close it like that and it closes. You can you see what I mean about the door hinge and the Hoover? It just sounds awful. I don't like it. But like the Hoover, like you couldn't slam, like you see the way, like if you slam that, it doesn't close. Whereas like if you just do like that, it's just lovely. I love it. Unfortunately, this one does still use the diverter for the Pro Wash and the recirculation system. So it does it. It only uses the Pro Wash, of course, on the main wash, I think, and the pre-wash. So it doesn't use the, it doesn't recirculate the water that much at all. So it doesn't bother me at all. The diverter is definitely a weird one. So it is. And there's definitely needs to be a time where I film it on pre-wash because it works very weird whenever it goes on the drain. I think you can actually see the diverter switching over in a sense whenever it goes onto its drain. Whenever it's on pre-wash, because it starts whenever it goes onto the drain on the pre-wash, it starts with the water flowing into the drum, and then it starts to change the diverter over the drain. I haven't had a drain out washing stuff or anything like that. I don't really know if it ever would happen. I don't know. A part of me wants to say it probably wouldn't, because whenever it goes onto a wash at the start, it has the diverter in the position to recirculate the water rather than the draining. I don't think it would have that issue. I don't know. You never know. And then, like I said, it doesn't use the Pro Wash on any of the rinses or spins. I mean, not the spins. It doesn't use it on any of the rinses. It just does it for saturation and the main wash. And I think, so yeah, the main differences with it is that it tumbles on its while filling up all the time, and it's more willing to take unbalanced spins. It's an 1800 RPM washer. It's not an 800 RPM washer machine sold as 1800. It's really nice. It came with a wiring diagram too in the top. It had a wee wiring diagram sitting in the top corner, which was quite interesting, and it even tells you how to go into the service menu and everything on it. It's really nice. I think as a whole, the way the cycles are designed are the same as the old one, I think. It's just, it's just the spinning and the rinsing and the way it fills up is different. It's just them two things, but the things that are like such major improvement, because it was such a drawback from the old version. Quick also doesn't use it won't fill up half a tub for a small low diver on the main wash. It'll do drum rim. I think that typically seems to be the thing. It typically does around about drum rim. And then it has I'll go on to it. I'll show you a wee bit. Of course, I know quite a lot. I'm sure quite a lot of people probably know what these Askos are like. In a sense, you've got a lot of different modes that you can set if you want to. So you've got temperature variation in 10-degree increments, right up to 90. I haven't used it on 90 without the heat shield yet, so I haven't. But we'll do that one day. It's very, very flexible. So it is like you can choose your spin speed in 100 RPM increments, apart from the lower speeds where you can only have 800 and 400, or you've even got no drain, which is just rinse hold. It is quite interesting. Then you can use the buttons to scroll along too if you want to. It's quite interesting in that sense. And then you've got really variable, delay start. It's very, very responsive too. So it is. I really like it. It doesn't have Wi-Fi or anything like that, and that doesn't bother me at all, as it's not something Wi-Fi and stuff isn't something I'd use. It also remembers the last wash that you've done, so it seems to remember them for all the washes. So like I done a universal wash, like I said yesterday, with a pre-wash. If I go out of this, and say to my auto program that I used yesterday too, And again, it has that all set up to how I used it yesterday as well, as it would, in the defaults, it defaults to a 1400 spin, but again, it's so flexible. You know, it's just so responsive. It has such a nice feel to it. I really like it. So I do. I'm really happy with it. I'm really glad I'm really glad I took that risk and went for it, as I feel like it's paid off for me at the moment. We'll see how time goes, like, so we will. Auto seems to be a really good quick wash. It's called Auto, and I don't think there's really much auto about it apart from it adjusting the wash length. I don't think it changes what you set, which is really nice. I think it does what you set on that. It did do yesterday, apart from the it was too unbalanced to go to 1800. It done like 1400, 1500. But like, those are still really good speeds, you know. 1400's 1400 at the end of the day, you know. I wouldn't respin if it done 1400 or higher, but if it done like 1000, I'd respin. But even like, it limited, like I said, on that universal wash. So it did, because of how imbalanced it was just way too imbalanced for it. It was shaking quite a bit, it was vibrating quite a bit, it was really imbalanced. So it wasn't that spin. But like, I stuck it on spin and drain, and it went straight away. It's happy to give itself plenty of time to balance too, and it'll try as best as it can to get a balance for that 1800 spin. So it will. And obviously, I haven't gone into service menu or anything like that. 3G sensors all still on, and even with that being on, it still works really well with its spin speeds and stuff. But yeah, so I've only used universal wash cottons, which defaulted at 20 for some reason, which is really weird whenever it was new. But of course I've used it, and I've, you know, done it different. I've used auto, I've used quick, and I've used allergy cotton. It's quite a good wash. But I do think with bigger loads you probably need super rinse, I think. So you would, for it. And then I've used rinse as well, and I've used drum clean, and the drum cleaning is quite poor on it, to be honest. Well, it's not my cup of tea. It reminds me of Migo's one, so it does. It doesn't do it doesn't do distribution washes or anything like that. It just does a normal tumble and heats up to 90. Although it does use the Pro Wash on the rinses, but yeah. And then you've got your settings menu. It was quite interesting to set up, so it was. Even like your drum illumination and stuff, and your display. It doesn't have too much to it in the settings menu, like, so it doesn't, but it's got more than enough than what it needs. I have the auto dose turned completely off, so I do, because it's not something I'd use. If you have it turned on, it would have the auto dose setting on the first bit for the first cycle, I guess, in a sense, because the way that this machine works is so whenever you go to here, like, you can literally like start a wash like that, so you can, and you can start it on that rather than going into the main thing, so you can. It's just such a nice wee machine, honestly. It's really nice. So it is. You can't, there you go. That's the shortest drain cycle I've ever seen. There you go. Yeah. But like you can see, it comes up whenever it's done like its eco performance. It shows you how eco-friendly it is. You can add a cycle to favorites, so that it comes up at the start. Although of course it's not something that you know, do. I think you can see there. I think that's had the diverter on the Pro Wash too. Whenever it's went on there, as it has now got, you can see it has had the diverter on that. But obviously it's realised it's, you know, not got any water in it. You know. So yeah, it does take it a wee bit to flick the diverter around, so it does. It takes about 15-20 seconds. I think I kind of want to say, like, I do wish it had two pumps rather than a diverter. But the diverter, it doesn't cause any issues, so it doesn't It seems more willing to use pro wash than drain, as you can see. But that's just been, you know, just seems to be just the way it is. You know, it doesn't bother me, so it resets that diverter and it puts it in the pro wash position straight away, so it does. And then it'll change the diverter and put it in the drain position whenever it gets to that part of the wash. So it does. You know, I don't think it would start a wash in the drain position. So it wouldn't. I think it's probably, you know, I think that would be the only thing that could be a real issue if it was to, you know, drain out the water by accident. I don't know, it hopefully won't. But you know, it just seems to be the way it is. It doesn't bother me though, you know. I don't even know if I filmed the drum. I didn't see it myself, so I didn't. But yeah, it's really good. I really like it. So I do really like it. I'm so grateful. I got this as an 18th birthday present, and so I did. And you know, it's the same with the dryer. I'm treating myself for my 18th birthday, so I am. I think this will be the last new washing machine, to be honest. I think I'm going to keep my shed like this, the way the setup is, for quite a bit. I'm just really happy with what I've got. I've got like everything I need. But yeah, I think I've talked about the Asko for like about 15 minutes now. You know, but that's basically the gist of it. I really like it. I'm really happy I took that risk. And I think that's one thing about me now, compared to before. I wouldn't judge a machine now until I use it in person. Whereas before, like, I used to go and watch people's videos and stuff and then be like, oh, this machine's rubbish because of what was on a video. I think I've realised now, especially with like my collection and stuff, a machine can be completely different whenever you own it compared to compared to someone else's experience with it. But yeah, I really like it. So like I said, with the auto dose, if you have that enabled and on, it will have the dose mode there. I think it shows how much detergent's in the tanks too, and it would have a dosage setting on one of these things here. But I haven't got the auto dose on, and it's not something that I'd use, so it's not. So I don't need it there. I'll never use auto dose. It doesn't interest me, so it doesn't, and it's not for me. But yeah, really like it. Really good machine. Really happy with my purchase. Unfortunately, we get on to, I don't know whether to go with happy things or sad things. I think we should end on a happy note, and I think for that we should... You know what I'm worried about here? I've realised that there's something on my floor there. And that thing there, even though it's face down, that has my address on it, so hopefully we'll keep that face down and we won't touch that, because I do not want my address on YouTube, that's for sure. I'm gonna keep my camera over here, because I need to like, get into the corner, please. I can't show my address. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, that has my address on it. I need to stick it somewhere. I'll keep that there. Miele Novotronic it's quite a sad one, to be honest. I can't really see this machine working out for me. I think it was only made for me to get free washes out of it, to be honest. I don't know whether there's something wrong with the drum spider or what. If it's something that the new one's causing, or if it's just old age or whatever. But basically, electronics and all are fine on it, but the door seal's coming into contact with the drum. I stuck a new door seal on it, and the problem with these Miele washing machines, these Novotronics, as you can see, there are practically no gap between the drum and the door seal, and you can hear that there. Yeah. Yeah, I just... It's worse today than it was yesterday. I haven't had it on. I done a test wash in it, and it caused that on 800 spin, all shredded for the seal. It wasn't as bad as this with the old door seal, but I done a wash in it. I done that towels wash, so I did. That I filmed a clip off, and gotten 75, and it shredded. It filled up with smoke on spin, so it did. On one of the interim spins, mind you, it was very, very unbalanced. But I can't see this machine working out. I really can't, especially not if it's sounding like that. I can't use that. I can't use that. You know, I think that's my job done. So I do. I've tried my best with it. I got 3 washes out of it. After a year's work. I managed to get I'm just really grateful with how sentimental this machine is to me, that I managed to get a full cycle filmed in it, and I can watch that back at any time. So I can, but basically I'm gonna have to scrap this, I think. So it's just not working out for me. I noticed on rinse it, whenever it's tumbling, it's making a knocking noise at the back. I thought it was just the sound of the water hitting the drum paddles, but I think there's something wrong with the drum spider again. So it's such a big job, burn and drum spider change, and it's like I always say, it's such a big job, and it's so easy for it to go wrong. So it is. Unfortunately, I think this has been a case where it's just not worked out. So it hasn't. I think that's it. You know, I'll obviously have this up. I'll have this video up. I'll keep the machine here. Hear your thoughts, and yeah, you know, I can't really see me getting far with it. It's mainly the top of it that's rubbing. I think it's rubbing against there. So it is. But yeah, I can't use that, so I can't. I think that it's just so bad that it's not going to be a case where I can just shred through it a wee bit. It's just coming into contact too much. So it is, you know, I'm just really sad. You know, I think a setup of like everything at Asko, and then having like this, it would have been, you know, really nice. Yeah, it's just, I did pour quite a bit of money into this machine, so I did. I think that's hard, you know, knowing that a lot of that money that you put into it just went to waste in a sense. You know, I must have spent like a good £300-400 fixing it. I think it's just, I think, long story short, I wouldn't do one of them jobs again. I don't see the point in it anymore. There's no point spending a year working on a washing machine and then that's the end result. I'm definitely very happy with how, you know, I got 3 washes out of that. That is an accomplishment. You know, definitely. I never got that far with the other machines that had this type of failure. But it's just not worked out, you know. I think that's the end of the Miele Novotronic. It got 16 years of use. It lasted very well, and I think it's just this wee concerto hose has an issue with it too, where it leaks a bit of water out whenever it's on spin. I fitted 2 different hoses, that one and another one, and it's still doing it as well, and I just think that's the end result, to be honest. I've done my best to get it working. I got it working for a bit, and you know, it just hasn't worked out. And then things happen. So they do. So I think it's going to be scrapped. I think that's it. So it is. It says it's definitely sounding a lot worse now than what it did yesterday. It's not going to get better, especially as yesterday it shredded that seal a bit. So it did. And it's, you know, it's even worse now. So it is. So yeah. In the plus note on the Miele Professional PW6055, I moved it from here and put it over here. So I kind of have it like my second-hand machines are here, and then my brand new ones are here, excluding my Beko dryer, which is kindly chilling there. Had a little bit of a cut there. It's a few hours have passed, I think, and I'm kind of on a bit of nerves about the dryer, to be honest. It's very possible it could have fell through. I don't know. I'm kind of on nerves about it. My local store, I think they sent the order through or something, but they have to wait for confirmation. I haven't heard anything back after that, but I looked on Euronic's website and the dryer has just went out of stock. So whatever will be will be. If I don't get the dryer, I'm still more than happy with just the washing machine, Them things happen. I've got the washing machine on with a load of just dark work stuff and also a black sheet. The reason the black sheet's in it, I'd normally of course wash the bed together, but the black sheet was on a mattress while it was waiting to be collected by by like a humanity company, if that makes sense. They sell like old furniture and stuff, and yeah, so they collected that, and yeah, it's a clean sheet. I've washed it before, so I did on a hot wash, but yeah, so I've got it on Universal Wash 40 with speed, and it's quite interesting. It is using Pro Wash, so it is it turns it on and off, so it does. But I was saying before the cut that I obviously have my old machine, my second-hand stuff over here, and I have the new stuff here. Sorry, my camera is a wee bit blurred up. Yeah, you can see the jet there. It does work quite nice, so it does. I suppose it's a bit reminiscent of Aquatech in a sense, but it's obviously, a lot better as it keeps it on for a really good length of time. It just showers over the load, so it does. I think it works better for the load whenever it's, over to the left, I suppose, if it's turning that way. It really showers over it, so it does a really good job. But yeah, if a dryer doesn't work right, it's completely okay, yeah, I'm just really happy with the washing machine. It's heated the temp and also it has, it's really good. I think it goes on to its in terms in about 20 minutes time, which I'll probably be done filming by then. But finally onto the Miele Professional. I've got a few things in front of it. I changed the belt on this, so I did the old one. As you may remember, on the wash day video, one of the first parts, I washed a load of bedding and the belt was so stretched that I thought it was going to fall off. That's how bad it was. I had a spare belt lying here, which was the same one as what fitted this. I think it was probably from my other Miele, the PW5065 that I tried to convert, and it wasn't. It was much better than this original belt that this one had. And I I stretched them together, and you could tell a big difference. So I stuck a new belt on. It was a bit of a faffle. I had to take a whole side panel off, so I did, to get the belt on. With these Mieles, you can't take the back off, so you can only take the front and the sides off and the top. Thankfully they changed that with the W1 ones where you can take the back off, which is a bit of a godsend, to be honest, for repairs and stuff. But it was a bit of a faff, but I got there eventually. And then in regards to this drum light, I've been trying to get a wire for this for about, I think, a good year or two. I've been trying to get a wire for that, and I haven't been getting anywhere with it. And I obviously had this machine I was running, and the drum light, you know, it was just error for show. It doesn't work, it's not connected up. And I needed a new door hinge for this because the original one, the screw was stripped. The thread was stripped on the hinge itself. And because of that, the top screw wouldn't tighten in properly, and the door hinge was starting to actually fall off. So it was, and yeah, it wasn't clicking into the door lock properly because of that issue. So it wasn't either, and it sometimes wouldn't close properly. So I got a new hinge, and I got that sorted. And while I was looking, there's a guy, you know, eBay's really good for like secondhand and spare parts and stuff. And there's someone on eBay who sells a lot of Miele wiring looms. And one of the models that he was selling the wiring loom for was one that had a drum light, the exact same drum light as this one. And I wasn't sure if it was going to have the drum light cable or not. I decided I wanted to take the risk, because to buy the drum light cable from Miele, they expect you to pay £60 for the one cable, and they also expect you to make a phone call to them to give over your bank details, and I don't really like that. I don't like Miele's new system anymore, so I don't. They used to have it where you just filled in a form on online for the email, but now they phone you, and yeah, I was originally going to purchase that in January, and then I thought about it. I don't feel comfortable talking on the phone with my anxiety and stuff, and I thought it didn't really matter to me, so I decided to go on eBay, like I said, and I seen that model pop up. I used the same drum light as this one, and I took a risk. It was only like £15, and then an extra whatever for delivery, not that much, a few quid. I took a risk, and it came yesterday. And look at this. Not only did I get the cable that I needed, I even got a drum light. What you're seeing here is, if this was brand new, all of this, Miele would charge you about £200 for. Their prices are ridiculous. Honestly, they're really ridiculous. The drum light, this one is pretty much the exact same as this one, but it doesn't have the orange cover on it. This one has more of an orangey effect, whereas this one's just a perfect clear bright light. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this original one out, and well, this wasn't original, I bought this one myself. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to stick this new one in and see how we go from there. The bulb's just like it's like a bit of an older. They superseded this bulb with this one, so they did like that, the bulb itself, but it seems to be exact same, so it is, other than it being a different number. I think that's what are quite nice with Miele though, on the bright side, that you can check through absolutely every part and make sure that that it fits right. They have like a big massive spare parts catalog, so I was like checking it for like a flipping whole half an hour before I went ahead and bought it. But yeah, I think I'll give this a whirl, and we'll just see what happens. It'll be really nice that I can use this washing machine again at least. So well, it'll be nice to have that. The cycles are nice and quick on it, so they are. I've had a few people talk to me about like the conversion of this one. So I have a few good friends of mine. I think I'm gonna do a video on that, so I will too, and maybe upload it not too long after this one's coming out. It's really not complicated at all. Like, you literally just disconnect a few cables, but I'll show you how to do that properly in that video, as it might be some help for someone who would like to have one of these machines but has to run it on 13 amp, because I think I've had a few people who actually don't realize that you can run these on that, Although I do think there's different versions of these ones or something, like some are 3-phase and stuff. I think, maybe, I don't know. But I know like this one, like, it's working on one heater and it's on the normal wattage that a domestic one would be on, and it works absolutely grand. It only runs on 2100. I mean, yeah, 2100 watt heater rating, so it does. As this PCB was all adjusted whenever I got it on the settings menu. I bought the PCB second hand, so I did, as along with quite a lot of some of the parts on that. But yeah, you know, it's just so nice to have that working again, hopefully. Depending on how the capacitors are, as I know that I haven't used this, I haven't plugged this in quite a bit. I think it maybe takes the capacitors a bit to fill up with charges. I think they work a little bit like a battery or something like that, so they do. But we'll get that sorted, we'll get it all sorted, you know. But yeah, I am really happy, aside from, of course, the downside of the Miele, so I am the Novotronic. But yeah, I'm really happy with everything. This has been a 1 hour long update video. Really hope that you've enjoyed it. Really hope that you enjoy new videos with this washing machine coming soon. I think I'll have the hot point videos up first, full cycle wise, and then we'll do full cycles in this later on or something. I might record 1 or 2. I haven't got full cycles recorded yet, so I haven't. But so far so good. If a dryer doesn't work out, it's absolutely okay. The washing machine's the main thing. You know, I just felt that the dryer would be quite a big bonus. As I think the dryer's a hybrid. It seems to be, with the way that the wattage is off it, as it uses. It's like 2000 watts a dryer, so it is. Whereas the normal heat pump would just be 800. So it must be it has to be a hybrid. So it must be. Maybe use a heater on 1 or 2 of the cycles. But yeah, really happy. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching. And let's look forward to more videos with an Asko. Bye everyone.